You just need to listen. That's all there is to the ritual. Just listen.
When I play this cassette, there is a dead woman in my home, just outside the room. I can't see her, but I know she's there. For so long, I thought I'd never see her again, no matter how much I wished otherwise. I'd only just started to accept that she was actually gone. And now, however elusive, she's here again. I can sense her moving about my flat, always just out of view. And when I play this song, she appears. I know this now. Sound has power. If you put on a song, it doesn't need to be a favourite one, just one you've heard before. It brings memories. I lost my virginity to Tom Waits. Sting's album 10 Summoner's Tales brings back happy memories of being driven out near Pennycook to a friend's farmhouse as a kid. Put on Dizzy Gillespie and I'm back in the desert drinking warm beer with a guy who didn't own any shoes. Song is fundamental to our souls. Music is intrinsically linked to how we move through and exist within our lives. All genres, rhythms and styles are rooted in ancient and ancestral norms or socio-political struggles born out of strife or cultural necessity. We should listen with respect and honour. When we press play, the time of recording is immediately transported and transposed to us. The ghosts of long-dead artists are immediately resurrected, repeating their words and gestures. But it's not just the artists who are resurrected, but the dead woman in my home as well.
No, there's no need for the listener to be pure or anything like that, just as well.
There are doors to other worlds in sound. That isn't a metaphor or euphemism. Early civilizations saw music as divine, present, and constant, something that changes the world physically and emotionally, but that is at the same time utterly intangible. Medieval occultists held that the acoustic dimensions of speech could transform reality. Words are spells. Sound is ritual. The parts of your spine that coordinate your voice also control your motion. Speech and movement are the same way of moving through space. With our vocal cords or instruments, we change the very air around us. Through unseen dimensions, speech and song are physical. And when a song is stuck in your head, your brain reproduces it, making it completely part of you, overwriting your other thoughts. Think of those songs you can't help but sing along with, or that get stuck in your head after only the slightest hint of a lyric. But in a world filled with adverts and so much sonic pollution clambering for attention, how much do you filter out? How much noise do you just ignore without a second thought? Imagine a hospital ward, where every machine, every monitor, every system makes a noise designed to let you know immediately, audibly, if action is required. What if they're all going off? Walking about a city, how much of the noise just never reaches the part of your mind that thinks about it, subconsciously disregarded? All those rumblings of cars, the clattering, the phones. There are sounds you are unused to that get lost in all of that. The wail of a banshee doesn't come as a shriek in your ear, but a low-level ringing. The sunken bells that toll do not reverberate above the din. They are part of the soundscapes. Late at night, walking your house alone, do you hear a faint humming? A strange sound? These are not sounds to ignore, but sounds to warn. It is not the creak of ceiling rafters adjusting in the wind. If you would actually climb up to the attic and find a chorus of noosed figures swaying, you must listen. How richer you'd be if you learned to dismantle the constant, cacophonous sound around you all the time and find the phase song within it, again. I'm not sure if it is the song or the cassette itself. Either way, when I play it, it is not always the same sound. But the melody niggles at me, desperate for me to find it again, to be heard again. So I keep rewinding and replaying the tape, hoping each time that it will be the song it once was. Or, rather, I need to meet who comes through the music, the woman haunting my home. My dead wife, I am sure. Who else would it be? The door through is not always there in the music. Not always complete, or maybe not always open. What you are hearing is an auditory illusion. Perhaps, at first, it just sounds like footsteps. Perhaps it is the sound you might hear while being wheeled in a gurney down dank basements under exposed pipes and wiring. Or the sound of someone approaching your room at night. Footsteps, nothing more. But listen carefully. Some have reported hearing whispers or metallic sounds. But analysis of the waveform shows no such sounds exist. They are illusions, existing somewhere outside of the sound source. This is called the Boleskin Walk. Listen to it. What do you hear? Some hear more, like the afterimage that haunts the eye after exposure to a particular picture, a bright dot of white perhaps. The footsteps may stay with you. Some see visual smears as well, just shadows darting at the corner of your eye. Long after you've stopped listening, deleted the file, scrubbed your mind with menial earworms, the footsteps keep coming. You might hear them continually, forevermore. Or they might come and go, resurging as you drift to sleep. And what will happen when the footsteps stop?
Are you ready? No? That's okay as well. I'll ask again later.
I wanted to thank everyone who listened to and engaged with Season 1 of Caledonian Gothic. The response was more than I ever could have hoped. All horror reflects our fears, either personal or societal. I wrote, recorded, and released Season 1 while I was going through a period of separation from my own children and navigating new ways to be a good and present dad despite the distance. So of course it centred around children becoming lost, but also them finding their own strength, fight, and independence. The raw, one-note intensity of that season was deliberate, but largely an expression of grief. Thank you for engaging with the rituals that helped those children salvage and find hope in the misadventures that befell them. Whoever drafted up old blueprints of the Museum of Childhood, supposedly discovered during its renovation, showing the zoetrope room nestled impossibly and inaccessible in its architecture, thank you. I also want to thank the listeners who suggested leaving additional episodes on cassette tapes, geocached, wrapped in butcher's paper and twine in the Pentland Hills near where I live. That could have been a really frightening experience for anyone who found them, or we could have made a genuinely haunting alternate reality game of it. But I am mindful of how even silly, harmless hoaxes can be weaponized and made toxic by conspiracy nonsense. All those stories were just stories, okay? But thank you to everyone who engaged with them at other levels. For Season 2 of Caledonian Gothic, I wanted to focus on sound, about the horrors that can live within sound waves, compositional techniques for creating fear in soundtracks, EVP, the hauntings that have been shown to be caused by infrasound waves, quite explainable, but all the more mysterious for it. And why deep rumbling drones cause anxiety and fear. Perhaps because the bigger a predator is, the deeper the sound they make, and so those sounds, even emulated, cause a subconscious spike of anxiety. In looking at all of those things, weaving in and out of science, acoustics, music theory and hauntology, we were going to find some stories of terror and abomination that infect the very sounds you listen to. I also wanted to play with the conventions of horror podcasts and the mechanics of having standalone stories that slowly combine through an overarching wraparound narrative. I wanted to flip the notion of an archivist working through tape recordings to be a radio DJ, being sent mysterious recordings each episode. An earlier draft revolved around a museum of musical instruments, cataloguing a mysterious collection of drums and flutes made from bones and other human remains. We were going to have a lot of fun. But while researching and developing all of this, something happened. Something I can't quite explain, something terrifying. My dead wife came back. I don't even know if it is safe to do so, but in the following 6 episodes, I will tell you what happened. All you have to do is listen.